Guess who's done showed up? This cat's got video radar, I swear.
Yeah. Alright, we are live.
Okay. Let me let him know.
Oh, if he follows my channel, he'll know.
So I don't know if he does or not because he asked me for the link. No, let me go
Oh.
to the. Let me get on YouTube. There we go. The TV just is really cool.
Yeah. Um, I used um, your new logo as the icon for the artwork, for the streaming
I saw
artwork.
that. That's pretty cool.
I wanted to make another Italian soda, but I didn't have the energy.
Yeah. I was like, I probably need to get another bottle of water because I've got like half a bottle. But I was like, I just don't want to get up.
Something.
I think Amanda just logged in to Paramount Plus.
Oh, yeah?
She said, "Oh my OMG, the Avatar." I just logged in on my phone. Nope, you're not getting on the computer. No. Whoa.
What?
I just looked down at the phone and like the thing's like sliding back and forth all over the place. Are you doing that?
I'm trying to get the damn thing centered.
Just gotta mess with the old man.
Damn straight. You know what it is? I gotta fix this.
Yeah, I saw the TV just moving. I'm like, what's going on? Is my phone messed up? Okay.
That's funny.
I mean, even more so than it is now.
Trying to
Let
make
me
sure
see.
trying to make sure it's all centered correctly.
Okay, I just sent a few more people the link.
See,
So I
because
ended up
there's.
not taking my truck today.
Why not?
I woke up with a bad headache and my stomach was tore up. And I told Courtney, I said, I'm just gonna take it in the morning. Gotta get my head quit hurting. I ended up I was up for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. I took something from my head and went there and laid back down.
Yeah.
And I woke up a little after lunch and it wasn't hurting anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean I could have took it then, but I used to work. That was the first job I ever had, so I know what happens after lunch. It gets extremely busy, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised at how many people get new tires for their car for Christmas.
Um, yeah, when I was a kid, that seemed to be a thing. Like the adults and the older cousins used to get a lot. I seem to remember that quite a bit.
Yeah, like the truck I have now, I'm hoping those tires will last. I mean, they've lasted for 2 years,
Yeah.
and they still got a lot of tread on them. But I mean, they're those off-road tires,
Hmm.
but they're like $400 a piece.
Good lord.
Yeah, but I mean, they came with the truck. They already had the off-road package on it when I bought it, so
Yeah.
it would have costed a lot more than that if I had put that on it myself.
Yeah.
Hello, brother. Patrick's in
Yo,
here.
what's up, Patrick? Ugh. Uh, one of these nights we gotta get Tony on with us.
Yeah, see,
at,
he's
le-
off
at,
tonight.
at least with him, we can rest assured that he will participate in the conversation instead of taking control of the conversation. uh,
Right?
I mean, leaving names out of the equation, that was hurting my brain.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you. I'm right there with you.
And not only that, it's like I told you, I think in a DM and after we were done, it literally sounded like the kid that can't finish a sentence.
What? Blah, 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 blah.
And
Anyway,
apparently now you can't either.
well, what it reminded me of was there was an episode of King of the Hill where I can't remember anything about the episode except for the end of it.
Yeah.
Bobby wanted to tell Hank a joke, and he kept jumping to different parts of the joke and then coming back, and he's like, "This just is gonna be such a good joke." But he would like jump to the middle and then go back to the beginning and then tell a little bit more and jump back to the middle and then go back to the beginning. And he was like, "Dude, you're talking in circles."
I mean, if anybody's gonna talk in circles, it should be me because I already roll in circles. Um. So yeah, I need to find somebody to put a curse on you because I need my YouTube recommended to go back to fucking normal where there's not 90% fucking wrestling on it.
I mean, technically, I didn't make you look up the wrestling stuff.
But technically you did because it led up to, what we will be talking about on, these live streams. Fucking twat waffle.
Listen here, Dillho.
Dildo.
Long, deep, and continuously. What's funny about that is the only people who knows what I was just talking about is me and you.
Did you actually you probably did know this because I think I put it in the group chat. Did you know that dog food lid spelled backwards is dildo of God?
Yeah, you did put that in there. Actually, I was sitting on the couch and Courtney was in the recliner when it come through, and I read it out to her, and she's like,
That poor woman's gonna have such a bad interpretation of me when I finally meet her.
"Nah, just be prepared because she's like the rest of us. She'll throw it back at
Oh, I don't mind. I'm sh-
you."
Whatever she throws at me, I'm sure she'll probably miss.
I mean, you're shorter than she is, but she's shorter than I am.
I'm shorter than most people. There are 10-year-olds that are taller than me.
So you're saying there's 9 years olds that are shorter than you?
guess technically, but that wasn't where I was going with that.
I don't know. Adriana's gonna. I got a feeling she's gonna hit the average height, average McDaniel height.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I know. Once she gets cursed with osteoporosis, Amanda will finally be shorter than me.
no, she won't because it's gonna hit you first.
I doubt it. You have no. You actually have to use the muscles and the bones in your legs for osteoporosis to take effect. I don't use my legs, so osteoporosis ain't gonna do anything to me.
For me, it's gonna be osteoarthritis. I'm pretty sure I've got arthritis in my left knee already,
Yeah, I thought,
and I've had it.
I thought you were gonna say
No, whose
wow.
mind's in the gutter now? No, I dislocated my left knee in 2000. It was either 2006 or 2007. I put gas in my car, and all I was doing was walking in to pay, and it just popped out of place. And I hit the ground, and I was able to get up, and I guess it popped back in place or whatever,
Mhm.
and I was able to walk. But the rest of that day, it hurt to put any weight on it.
Mhm.
And that evening, Courtney took me to the doctor, to the emergency room, and they put me on crutches and put me out of work.
Yeah.
Sent me to a specialist. I mean, I was out of work from. I missed all of October, all of November, and the first like 2 weeks of December.
Yeah.
And the specialist was like, "Well, like they thought they were going to have to do knee surgery. Like they thought they were going to have to put a knee replacement in, and I was only like 20, 26 or 25 or 26.
Yeah.
And I mean, luckily they didn't. But the funniest thing about it, they put me in one of those knee immobilizers,
Yep.
and one of the straps or two of the straps on mine just snapped.
Mhm.
So my mom, she's like, "Well, it's not going to be the size you need, but you can use the one that I had to use." Dude, the one that she had looked like a kid's knee immobilizer when she put it on my leg.
Oh Lord.
But I told them about it at the um, specialist. It was a orthopedic doctor. I think it was Ortho Carolina.
Did you say orthopedic?
I did. I didn't mean orthopedic.
No, no. I'm glad you said orthopedic because that's what because I couldn't tell if you said orthopedic or orthopeda, and I'm like, what
No,
does
no, no, no,
PETA?
no.
What does PETA have to do with this?
It might have been an orthopedic doctor for all I know. It was a place called Ortho Carolina. They sent me for
Yeah,
MRI and all that
it
stuff.
would it would have been orthopedic. That's correct, but I couldn't
And
tell if because when you said orthopedic, I for some reason my brain heard orthopeda. I'm like, what does
mm,
PETA have to do with this?
that's
Uh,
doctors who specialize in the treatment for ethical animals or ethical treatment of animals. Yeah, that's what that is. But yeah, that I told him. I said my mom gave me her knee immobilizer. It's too short, and it's driving me crazy. And when they printed the paperwork out for me to take to my doctor,
mhm.
they actually put on there, patient is wearing his mother's knee immobilizer. He says it's driving him crazy.
Yeah, there are some medical professionals who will put the literal statement that you make on a, you know,
Yeah.
it's like you didn't need to be so literal about it.
Next time I'm gonna be like, it's driving me knucking futs. Let's see what they do.
I've been saying that since I was a kid. Until you said it the other day, I had never heard anybody else say it because like obviously me and most of the people in my family said it, but I hadn't heard anybody else say it until you said it the other day.
I got it from that movie David Spade made where he was a child actor who I can't remember the name of the movie, but like when he grew up,
Uh huh.
they're like, "Oh, well, you spent your childhood as an actor and a celebrity. You didn't get a childhood." So he's an adult, and they're making him relive his childhood, like learning how to ride a bike and learn how to swim and stuff.
I
But
don't know
when
if
he
I
was a
ever saw
child
that.
actor, his catchphrase was "It's driving me knuckin' futz."
That's probably
I never
where
saw the whole thing,
that's probably where people got it. Then I don't know.
and I said it to Courtney. I don't know if she can say it now or not, but when I first started saying it, she would find herself having to pay attention to what she was saying. Like she would try to say it, and you're driving me knuckin' futz.
It's even funnier when people have to, you know, figure out what they're trying to say as a cuss word.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's funny now because her and Adriana listens to that to BTS all the time,
yeah.
and like they've they pick up on little phrases they say, like they know what the little words they can say for good morning and are you okay and stuff like that. They'll sit there and be saying these little Korean phrases back and forth to each other, and I'm like, y'all quit cussing right now. And Adrian's like, we're not cussing, we're speaking Korean.
um, so all of this stuff you've had me watch,
Dickie
and
Roberts, that was it. Dickie Roberts, former star, Patrick, just the
yep.
what you call it.
Okay, it's funny because it came up for you before it did for me in the chat.
I saw it on my phone.
Yeah, it
I don't
came up.
I don't have it pulled up on the computer.
No, I know, but it appeared in the chat for you quicker than it did for me.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, all this stuff you've been having me watch. I know last time we were on, we were talking about that show that I found on A&E,
Yeah,
but um, with the documentary you just had me watch, it led me to other videos to find out exactly who has left WWE and gone over to AEW, and you know who's been part of PWX at some points. Um, yeah, I'm learning a whole lot about things that probably will never. I'll never actually have to remember any of this stuff. I mean, it's cool to learn, but it's like I'll probably never have to remember it because I don't actively watch wrestling.
yeah,
But it's interesting to see how wrestlers that I grew up with are still trying to stay in the business, but just not with WWE.
yeah.
Because I'm sorry, WWE is a fossil of its former self.
WWE is garbage right now.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, I never thought I would ever say that about WWE because I mean, growing up, I was a WCW kid,
yeah.
and I started watching WWF. I guess I saw the Royal Rumble in '92.
Mhm.
Spent the night at a friend's house, and he had ordered it.
Mhm.
And it was funny because back then, the cable boxes they set on top of the TV, and if your TV wasn't remote controlled, you had to slide the little thing back and forth. And he's like, "Look at this," and he turned the box around, and they had this big thing about that long and about so big around that connected into the back of the box that gave you pay per view.
Wow.
And once you ordered or once you watched it, they came back to your house the next day and uninstalled it.
So they tracked it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. But
So Big Brother's been watching us longer than we even realized.
at, at least as far as the cable went.
Yeah.
And
I
now you
mean,
just push a button on your TV on your remote and you just order it right there. You don't even have to call them to order it no more.
at least we didn't have people showing up to our houses in the morning after we watched the scrambled channels.
Oh, the scrambled channels. But for the 2 or 3 seconds they were clear, it was like, and it's gone.
Yep, and for me it was always the Girls Gone Wild commercials.
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Yep. I don't know what ever happened to them. I don't know if that company is still putting out videos or not. But all I remember, well, the biggest thing with them was when they actually came to the town that I grew up in when I was 23 or 24, I think. They actually came to the bar that I used to hang out in, and it wasn't. They make it out to be more in the videos than it really is, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
Um, it looks really elaborate and extravagant on the videos, but it really isn't. And a lot of the production staff are massive dickheads.
I don't doubt it.
Um,
I don't doubt that at all.
and I don't think or the footage that they got from our bar they didn't even use
Oh
because
really?
yeah, because they were doing a video. I think it was Wildest Bars in America, and they happened to come to our or they happened to get a hold of the owner of the bar that I went to. They came to the bar. They never used any of the footage. So I mean, granted, the bar made money off of it, but here's the thing: that a lot of people, like I said, I don't know if they're still in operation, if they still do live events or anything like that. But here's the one thing that you never knew about live Girls Gone Wild events, like in certain bars, when they would go into a bar, if they were scheduled to appear in a bar, they would bring some of their own girls with them, so they were not all just girls off the street or girls that were patrons of the bar. Secondly, girls got into the bar free, and guys would have to pay $25, even if it was
So they're making the money either way.
yeah, because even if it was a bar that even if it was a bar that didn't have a cover charge as a general rule, for that time that Girls Gone Wild was there, they made the guys pay to get in.
I mean, like, that's just sexist. Well,
They definitely wouldn't have made you pay to get in with that voice.
yeah.
I think you would have probably been in the bar across the street with that voice.
I'd be like, "Hi, I want to be in the video."
Wow. It's like, hey, do you guys remember the Truffle Shuffle?
Okay, so
Hey, you guys. Have you seen
hey,
my
you
baseball?
guys. So I gotta tell you. So back in 2018, me and Patrick Donaldson and some other people, we all went to Charlotte for PWX.
Yeah.
There's a company down in Florida called Fest Wrestling.
Yeah.
So it was PWX versus Fest, and they came up here, but it was under Fest rules. Well, at Fest there are no chairs. Everybody stands for the whole show.
They ain't taking my chair away from me.
Well, no, when you would have been fine. They had one little section for chairs for people who physically wouldn't be able to stand,
Yeah.
and it was right next to the ramp where they made their entrances. But the other three sides of the ring, everybody had to stand.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that we were so close to the ring, like we were maybe a foot and a half from the ring.
Yeah.
This building is really small. They have, when I say small, you've got the ring, and then there's about 3 or 4 feet of, the area around the ring. Then there's 3 rows of chairs, and the third row of chairs against the wall.
Yeah.
But they crammed 250 people in there, like 250 fans into that building for this show.
Yeah.
It was god awful hot because it's the middle of July. And he told us, like, Brian, the guy that owns PWX, he's like, we've got the air on. It's a cool 65 degrees in there. It feels good. And it did when we first walked in.
Until you get a bunch of bodies exuding heat.
And then it was hotter in there than it was outside because the
Well,
walls are all black, the ceiling's black. Black absorbs heat.
I
So,
got one better for you when you're finished.
okay. So we're or at the show, and the ring announcer is a dude named Brett Wolverton. He's on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, like really nice guy.
Yeah.
But because it's PWX versus Fest, and Fest is out of Florida, everybody's wearing like Hawaiian style shirts, and they're wearing like leis and stuff. And they told Brian, or not Brian, they told Brett to do the truffle shuffle. Now Brett's a big dude. He's a big guy, and he looked without missing a beat, and he's like, "Do you realize you're telling a Goonie to do the truffle shuffle?" He's like, "I love that movie," and he did it. He
Wow.
did it right, and there, I mean, there was some fans who there were like, you know, get up here and do this little dance. We'll give you a lei. Well, next thing we knew, some dude jumped up on the ring apron, ripped his shirt off, and he's doing like this. But I mean, it was a good time. That was like the I think the second show I think I took my camera to, and I mean it was a good time. But we got there at noon. The show started at 2, I believe, and ended at 6.
Yeah.
Might have started at 3 and ended at 6, but we were there for 6 hours and couldn't sit down the whole time.
Yeah.
So whenever we left, went and got in the car, I got in the back seat and I sat down, and my hips and my thighs was like, "You son of a bitch." They hurt so bad. The next day I woke up and I'm like, "What? I will never do that again." But then I'm like, "Who am I kidding? Yeah, I will."
Yeah. Um. No, when you were talking about the venue being so damn hot, there was a venue in, I believe it's in Clifton Park, New York. Um. It used to be called Northern Lights when I was, you know, a kid and then old enough to go, because it was considered a bar. Um, but they did, during certain shows, they actually did let kids in because they had some big national acts in there sometimes. Like Charlie Daniels, Willie Nelson, they would all be there. And then you then you'd go to the complete other end of the spectrum, and you'd have Mushroom Head, Mudvayne, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I was there probably 4 times for different shows, but the reason I bring it up is this place was, it was a decent size, but if you get too many people in there, and obviously the body heat's gonna, make the temperature go up. Well, this building was so old that I don't know if it was necessarily falling apart, but you get like 400 or 500 people in there. The building itself started sweating.
Oh wow.
You would get the walls and the ceiling sweating on you, and it was the most grotesque smell I have ever endured in my life. I forget what band I was there to see, but I was with my friend Monica, and like I said, I forget who we were there to see, but it was the end of the show. We were leaving. She was driving my car because I wasn't comfortable driving on the Northway. That's what we called the highways up there. But we weren't. I wasn't comfortable driving on the Northway. Northway. So she was driving my car. We get into my car, and I realized just how badly this building was sweating on everybody because I got into my car and I smelled like rotten fish.
Yeah.
It, like I said, it was the most grotesque smell I have ever endured in my life. Uh, so I was drunk, and knowing that I smelled like a fish, uh, I guess we pulled up next to a cop. My stupid ass decides to roll down the window, and in the highest voice that I can, I screamed out, "Here, Piggy, Piggy, want some fishy, fishy, fishy?"
Oh my god.
I thought Monica was going to wreck my car because she, because she was laughing so hard.
did did the cop respond?
Thankfully, no, because he had his windows up, and I think he had to have been doing something. But and I don't know that I necessarily yelled it, but I know that I altered my voice to be like very annoying and condescending. But yeah, I thought Monica was gonna wreck my car because she was laughing so hard. She
That's
looks at me
great.
and she goes, "Please never do that again." um,
Well, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but if he is, I'm about to call Patrick out a minute. So that show we were at,
yeah,
um, Anthony Henry, the documentary I had you watch, Anthony
yep,
Henry and his friend James Drake,
yep.
that he was. So they're a tag team called the Workhorsemen.
Now, is he also known as JD Drake?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because that's how they were. Like I saw them refer to him as that in the
Yeah.
documentary, and I've seen him listed as JD Drake. I'm like, is that the same person? Because
It is.
there's also a James, there's also another James in there. So I was like, did I get something confused?
Yeah. JD Drake, James Drake, same guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, Funny enough, like my mother-in-law, she does taxes for at H&R Block every year,
Yeah. And yeah, you told me
and
about that.
yeah, James Drake's one of her clients. But she let's see, when the Workhorsemen come out and Amber Young was with them, so she walked down to the ring with them at that show. But instead of getting in the ring and posing with them like she always did,
Mm-hmm.
they got in the ring. She turned around and went back up the ramp and went back out. Now, that building, you go up the ramp and they got the little curtain and it goes down some stairs,
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 steps. And then there's the curtain,
Uh huh.
and then the door leads straight outside.
Uh
Like they
huh.
don't have locker rooms. They all have to change, put on their wrestling gear and stuff out behind the building. So after, and I'll have to show you the pictures when we're not on live because I've got them on my phone somewhere on my phone. They're not in order since I've switched phones since.
Yeah.
After the match, after they won, she came back out and got in the ring with them, and JD is sitting there just hung over the top rope looking exhausted.
Yeah.
Amber's standing there with them. And what's up, Toaster? Tony just joined.
Oh.
And they're all standing there. Well, there's an air conditioning unit right above the ring, and Anthony Henry, he was walking around the ring after the show, or after the match, I mean,
Yeah.
and he hit right where the air was coming out. He stopped and looked at Amber, and he's like, that feels good. Well, Patrick told us for the next show, he said, or but before that next show, he said, that was weird that Amber didn't stay out there. He said she came out, they got in the ring, and she left, and then didn't come back till the match was over. So that was weird.
Hmm.
He said, I think she's pregnant, and that's why she didn't stay out there. So at the next show, I go up to Amber, and I'm like, Amber, are you pregnant? She's like, huh? And I said, Patrick said you didn't stay out there at the last show because he thought you were pregnant. She
Hmm.
says, no, I'm not pregnant, not yet.
Oh
She's
no.
like, she's like, it was too hot. The audio sounds lower than normal. Let me move the microphone closer, see if that'll help.
Well, no, I also adjusted it in the audio mixer as well.
Okay. But he said she said no, it was too hot and I couldn't handle that. I said, yeah, it was extremely hot. Like when I got home, I didn't have a single stitch of dry clothing on my body nowhere.
Yeah. Tony, just so you know, the next time Chad and I go live like this, we're dragging your ass in with us. Just so you know.
He
I'm
said
actually.
much better. I pulled the
Yeah, I know.
microphone closer. He said,
Yeah, it's starting to come in quicker on my side. Um, I'm even though I've got it on mute, I'm watching the stream on my TV too.
oh, are you?
Yeah, it, you should see it. You know how they have over the like the Christmas season, they'll have that one channel that just has a constant Yule log in the
Yeah,
fireplace. It literally looks like that with the old TV. You got to turn it on your TV. It looks
that's
fucking
what I'm doing.
awesome.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna mute it though because I don't want to hear me talking and then hear me talking
Right.
back to myself.
Well, no, like I said, I've got mine muted too, but I had to see what it looked like on TV, and even the Feliz Navidad, it's actually active on my screen. It looks so good. See, this is what I love about content creation. I have learned so much. I mean, I've been doing it since like 2018, but even in the last, however many months since May, I've learned so much about how to do all this, and I just love learning it.
Right.
Uh,
Okay, let me pull up the YouTube. As
no,
me and
it's not
Courtney say,
Fila's Navy Dad. It's fleas. There's fleas on my dog.
Fleas on my dog. Fleas on my dog.
Oh God, Chad, you'll know, or you'll get a kick out of this because you're old enough to remember it. So I'm with my mom the other day, and she was saying how one of my cousins,
Oh, that's awesome.
uh, one of my cousins posted on Facebook saying that her son wanted wanted a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh God, I hate that song. I I can't stand that song. Has always irked my nerve.
Yeah, I can't stand that song, but I love Dominic the Donkey.
Who?
Oh my
I don't.
God,
I don't know if I know Dominic the Donkey.
the Italian Christmas donkey.
Yep, not ringing any bells, Betty.
Good. Why am I friends with you?
Cause everybody loves me.
um, no, when we're off stream, I'll have you listen to it. It's a
Okay.
great song. Have you
Yeah, I
ever?
can't stand a hippopotamus for Christmas. And there's another one that I can't stand is because when I worked at Food Line, they played it on a loop over and over, and I heard it like every 3 or 4 songs. It's the one that went like, um, to get a peppermint stick for old Saint Nick. I hate that
Yeah,
song
it's
so bad.
Shirley Temple sang that.
Shirley Temple. This was a dude.
Well, Shirley Temple sang the original.
Okay.
Um,
Well, the one I heard was a dude, and he just sounded like he was like a smile plastered on his face the whole time. It was
yeah,
like I'm smiling while I'm singing this because they're holding a gun to my head.
yeah, it's I forget the name of it. But we sang it in school. Irritated the hell out of me, but I now understand why I want your friends to be my friends because purely because of what Tony just put in the chat.
Tony, I hate to tell you this, but YouTube was put up on my phone already, brother. I was pulling it up on my PlayStation so I could see us on the big screen. Hey, I'm on a TV. On a TV. That's
Yeah,
like the fourth wall,
Paula
16th
the
wall.
koala. Who is Paula the koala?
I think he's just making stuff up now.
Okay, I have no idea who Marjorie Chambers is. Hi, Marjorie. Um, yeah, just like with uh, with you and Amanda and me with sending each other TikTok videos.
Hmm.
I need to get my YouTube recommended back to normal because of you.
Well, don't know if that's gonna happen.
Not that I don't like learning about all that stuff, but it's like all the stuff that I normally watch that's in my recommended is now gone because they're recommending so many different things now.
That's how mine is all the time because I pull up so many different things. I pull up music videos. I pulled up some of the channels you've told me about.
Hmm.
I pull up the wrestling stuff. Most of the wrestling stuff that I watch on there is from What Culture,
Yeah.
but I follow the PWX channels and see some of those things. And then when I look up like guitar lessons for if there's a song I want to learn, they'll have like you can go on there and there's hundreds and hundreds of guitar tutorials just for a certain song.
Hmm.
And I mean, I haven't learned hundreds and hundreds of them, but
So apparently Tony is talking about singing songs to you.
we were in a PlayStation party one night. It was me, him, our friend Ashley that lives in England, and our friend Rachel that lives up in Missouri.
Yeah.
And we were playing Friday the 13th, the game.
Hmm.
Tony starts talking with this high pitched, nasally toned voice. So we ended up going in the game chat just so we could hear the people's reactions that were in the game.
Yeah.
He's like, "My name's Elwick," talking like that, and he starts singing this song called "Tarantulas," and I don't even know how it goes. I just know I was dying laughing. But he's like, "I can't wait to be Jason so I can take it easy on you guys," and then he became Jason and killed everybody in like 5 minutes.
I think you told me about that in the last couple weeks.
I probably have. He was like, "My mama says I'm a superhero." I'm like, "What's your?" I said, "You're an asthmatic bastard. What's your power? Breathing?"
Yeah, you did tell me about that.
But it was so funny because after everybody left the game, when we went back into party chat, we were just dead. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Except there was one time we were playing it, and the character he was using, he put on the little Halloween costume. It looked like the Andre the Giant, singlet he wore when he wrestled.
Yep.
And I was Jason. I go in the barn. Tony's in there. the, there's a little room, like a little closet thing in the barn,
Hmm.
and I saw his flashlight coming under the door. So I go to the door and open it, and he's in there just dancing in the closet. So I just picked him up and killed him. And he couldn't get out because I'm standing in the doorway, so he was pretty much body blocked. But yeah, I just opened the closet. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Yeah. I just picked him up, and killed him.
I mean, do you like searching for random men in the closet
Okay, look, it was just the one time thing.
that you want us to know
It's the one time I remember about.
about? Oh, so you don't remember any other times that you might have dropped the soap?
No. Oh, there is no way to answer that question without me looking bad here.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh, he just
wow.
said Elwick was doing a happy dance. That's what he just said. Now here's what you got to look at. Was I going in there looking for guys in the closet, or did he want to be found in the closet? He's the one left his flashlight on.
I'm gonna go with you wanted to find guys in the closet.
What really made me mad was, what really sucked was at that point I had Jason in rage mode. I could have just hit X and busted through the door, but no, I sat there and just casually just opened it. My favorite kill, he takes the pickaxe, puts it in their temple, and
Yeah,
it twists their head all the way around 180 degrees.
yeah,
And while he's twisting it, you hear the neck and everything snap and crackle and pop, and it's amazing.
yeah. Um, Tony, now that I think of it, Tony, um, you alerting me that his volume was low made me also realize that I can now boost the volume on Amanda's output so that people can hear her better. Now that her audio is clearer, I can make it so people can actually hear her.
You see what he just put, right?
You should ask Chad about two friends going on a not date to see a movie about it. What? Okay, that needs that needs to be explained.
Okay, it's simple. We went on a not date.
Yeah, but you went to see a movie, and we all know that things happen in dark movie theaters.
Nothing happened. I watched the movie. No, Bohemian Rhapsody was coming out, and Queen is Tony's favorite band like ever.
I have not seen that movie, but I want to.
It is amazing, dude. It's like I never was a huge Queen fan. Like they had a few songs I liked, but like it wasn't enough for me to just go out and buy an album.
Hmm.
Like nowadays, I could just go on and download the songs I liked that I wanted.
Yeah.
Um, but I wasn't working at the time because I hadn't started with Life Touch yet, and
Hmm.
Walmart had fired me.
Yeah. Bastards.
Um, yeah, assholes.
Assholes.
Um,
Fine,
but
fuck you. I didn't want to be a Walmartian anyway. Fuck you.
I did that shit for 13 years. I had enough of it. They ruined me with that artificial air and that their cooler. But but no, I called Tony up. I'm like, dude, I just saw a trailer for Bohemian Rhapsody, or I might have sent him a message. I don't remember, but I'm like, I didn't even know they were making a movie about Queen. I'm like, but the previews looks really good. He's like, I know, I want to see that movie so bad. And I'm like, you buy the tickets, I'll provide the ride. He's like, it's a deal. So that's what we did. The movie come out. I went and picked him up. We went to the theater. He bought me popcorn and soda, and
Did you put out?
no. But it was funny because he bought the huge popcorn bucket that you can take back every time you go and refill for. for just the cost of popcorn or whatever.
Yeah.
So when we got in there, we had to sit on the floor because the rest of the theater was taken.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there. It's two guys sitting on the floor, individual sodas, but sharing popcorn out of the same bucket, watching a movie about a gay man. I told Tony, I said, they think we're gay. But the movie was great.
Yeah.
Like as soon as it hit Blu-ray, I went out and bought it.
Oh.
Like my
Shit.
favorite part of that movie, um, his ex-wife brings her boyfriend to meet Freddie and the rest of the band. And they're like, well, we'll see after the show. And they get off the bus. And he's like, what do you think about her new boyfriend? And they're like, oh, he seems great. She seems to like him. Seems to be pretty good. And he's like, I think he's gay. The Freddie Mercury just, I think he's gay.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, that was just so funny.
Oh my god. What the
Damn,
hell
Tony.
is wrong with you people?
Okay, you met me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Does,
he's pretty much just like me.
doesn't mean I know what's wrong with you yet. I don't have that extensive training.
I thought you was gonna say I don't have that kind of time.
All I got's time. I don't have anything else to do. I just don't have that.
Yeah, that's why we don't go on dates anymore. I took you out to lunch yesterday, you son of a bitch. My truck got. I had to get my truck jumped off. Dude, I
Whoa,
forgot.
that sounded kind of wrong. I
Oh,
had to
Tony
get.
says I'm way worse.
That's funny. I had to get my truck jumped off. You have no idea how dirty that sounds.
Or do
I don't know, and I'm scared to ask now.
I? No, I didn't realize my headlights were on.
I'm,
Get your mind out the gutter, Ryan.
I was gonna say the number of innuendos that we've been making. I need to not take that as an innuendo.
We're the place was called Blackwoods Drive-In, and Tony was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, he messaged me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm about to go get some get the stuff we need for supper tonight." And I thought about getting some for lunch. Where are you going for lunch? Do you want some company? Sure, I'll come and get you. And we decided to go to Blackwoods, but you can't. Like Blackwood still doesn't let people go in
Yeah,
to eat. But I mean, to be fair, they only have like 4 or 5 tables anyway, so a lot of people couldn't go in and eat at the same at one time at any given time.
yeah,
But it's just it's literally a drive-in. You pull up, they walk out to your car, take your order, and go in. Give them the order. So I was like, well, I haven't had anything to eat yet, so I just want like breakfast sandwiches. They got homemade like it's liver mush, egg and cheese on Texas toast,
hmm
and then bologna, egg and cheese on Texas toast. So that's
yeah,
what we got. And we're sitting there and waited on them to bring the food to us, and we ate. Got ready to leave, cranked the truck, and you could hear it turning over, and then it just clicked. I'm like, crap, what's going on? And I was like, oh shit, my headlights are on. I turned them off. We tried to crank, like, sat there and waited a few minutes, and then tried to crank it a few more times, and it sounded like it was going to crank, and then just didn't.
yeah.
And
Um,
so the waitress came up to the car beside us, and Tony was. I said, get her attention. And he's like, "Are you?" He got her. He said, "Do you know if anybody in there has any jumper cables? This won't crank." And she's like, "There's a guy that's usually got a jump box. Let me go see if he's got it." She comes back. She's like, "He's in a loaner car. His car's in the shop. He don't have his jump box with him." There was a little old guy, looked like he's in his mid to late 60s, parked on the other side from where we were, like directly across from us.
yeah,
So he said he would jump us off. He drove his truck around to where we weren't parked beside us. Best thing about it, he was wearing a Let's Go Brandon shirt.
Oh God.
I told Tony, I said, "How great is that?"
I just thought of something. Tony, if you are currently sitting at a computer and you're on Chad's friends list on Facebook,
Oh, he is.
Chad has the ability to add you to the video chat to bring you in on the live stream right now.
If he wants to do that, you just have to tell me how to.
All you gotta do is mouse over the bottom of your video chat screen, and it should give you an icon that says add somebody. It'll be on the bottom left, I think.
From the screen on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be right on the video chat screen.
He said his PC's dead. He's on his phone.
How is your PC dead unless it's a laptop? I'm guessing that's
It's
what
a
it is.
laptop.
Alright, because the way it was always explained to me is the PC is a desktop computer and the laptop is just a laptop. Like, I don't know why they designated it that way when I was a kid, but
I just gotta.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, if he wants to, he can still jump in on his mobile if he's got Facebook chat on his mobile.
He does.
He's more than
I'm
welcome
just trying.
to jump in.
Okay, so I'm trying to find. I had originally closed out Facebook because the notifications popping through were
Okay, but it won't be on Facebook. It'll be on the actual video screen. You're looking at me, right?
Oh, hold on.
The
Where'd it
the
go?
the actual video
Okay.
screen.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, add group members.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood what you said before. My bad.
Yeah. That's how you do it. Because that's how I. Oh, that's how I had to add Chance last night.
I was wondering how you did that without.
Fucking magic. Shut up.
What's magic? Okay. So I put his name in and hit done. So we'll see if it.
Yeah. It should work. It'll rearrange our entire way that we appear on the screen, but I can fix that when he's in.
Yeah. Join through your phone, toaster. He said he can't join at the moment.
Oh, it says I need to get a set of headphones for audio. No big deal. Next time
That's
around.
that's why we don't go on dates anymore.
It, no, you don't go on date. Or apparently, according to him, you don't go on dates anymore because you wouldn't put out.
Yeah, he'll get over it.
Wow.
Love you, brother. It's funny because like my little group of friends, like me, Tony, Patrick, um, Ashley, and Jordan over in England. There used to be a show on Nickelodeon called Rocket Power.
Yeah, I love that show.
And I did too. And the little Hawaiian guy, he's always calling everybody little brother.
Yeah,
And I picked
the
that
one
up.
that kind of the one that was kind of a cartoon representation of Rakishi.
Yeah. So I picked that up, and I've been calling them or been calling them brother ever since.
I'm letting everything die, he says.
His phone's
that
at
that
2%.
that's kind of morbid. Wow.
I mean, if you think about it, from the moment we're born, we're dying.
Yeah.
Every breath we take is one breath closer to our last.
Dear Lord, we've already been on an hour.
Have we really?
Yeah.
Don't feel like it.
How, how did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, we ran into this. We ran into this last time too,
Hey,
because
at least this time I don't have to say, "Oh shit, I got to take Tony to work,"
right.
because he's off today.
But yeah, like that's we realized that last time we streamed is like how quickly our conversations progress because we look down and it's like, oh shit, it's been an hour. That's too
Time
funny.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it's just so wild how clear it looks on TV.
Oh, I know. So I keep looking up at it. I'm looking for. There we go.
Like
Just wanted just to
obviously
see. Let me
because I
just.
have it muted, I don't know how delayed the audio and video is.
Yeah, I know there's a delay. I just don't know. Well,
Yeah,
between us and
yeah. Um,
because I saw me doing this. I don't know how long it was after. Well, there I go. I just now reaching for my cinnamon disc. So
yeah.
looks
um,
like about maybe 20 seconds.
maybe. You know what I should do is I should create a layout that actually has us pictured on the back wall, like inside the fireplace, with a Yule log in front of us while we're chatting. I should create that. That'd be funny.
So my friend Heidi over in England, she's got a huge crush on Anthony Henry. So back in, I think it was February, it was his last match in PWX before he was going. He had like 3 or 4 more matches on the indie circuit before he was going to the WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get to see him wrestle again, before he's in the WWE. So I need to do do something for Heidi that I've been trying to do all along. But it just so happened, like after every show, he would always be in the back because he would be like in the main event or the next to the last match,
Mhm.
and he would always be in the very back, and we never see him. And I would talk to Amber, and I'd be like, "Can I get him to make a video for my friend Heidi?" I was like, "She's got a huge crush on him, and it would make her day." So that last show, he was out at the merch table when we were getting ready to leave
Mhm.
because his match was like second or third match on the card. And I went up to him and I said, "Can I ask you a favor?" And he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "I've got a friend in England that I game with all the time, and she sees my pictures every time I put them up, and she's got a crush on you. Can you make a video telling her, hey, her name's Heidi?" So he did. He made the video. It was like, I don't know, 30 or 40 seconds maybe. And, I told him thank you and everything. And we
You
left.
probably gave that woman a heart attack.
Who, Heidi?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm getting to that. I sent her a message as all caps. I'm like, Heidi, are you awake? And at this point, it's like between 10:30 and 11 o'clock at night, and they're 5 hours ahead of us. So it's like between 3:30 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, buddy, what's up? You okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, but you're about to have your mind blown. She's like, why? I said, look at this. And I sent her that video. She's like, oh my God, you didn't. I'm like, oh my God, I did. You know, she's like, how did you do that? And I'm like, it was easy. I went up and I was like, "Can you make a video?" And he said, "Yeah." And, and so I'm like, it, I've been trying to get him to do it, for months, but this was the first time I had the actual opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
The next day, she's like, "I watched that video for a full straight hour. I can't believe you did that for me."
um, it reminds me of what was it about 2 months ago? I think when Amanda started having trouble with Mia,
Hmm.
and we were talking about the fact that there's no there's no real concrete medical insurance for animals.
Right.
So I told her, I was like, I think one of our projects should be to look into creating a medical insurance entity for animals. And she goes, "Yeah, that's cool." Well, I decided I was going to kind of shock her. And so I made a logo for a potential medical insurance for animals brand. And I had an eagle behind it because I couldn't find a proper picture of the same breed of dog. So I had an
Yeah.
eagle behind it that matched the colors of the already established logo. I just changed the name and I put MIA, meaning medical insurance for animals.
Yeah.
She lost her shit. Like, I told her, because I told her before I sent it, I was like, you have to promise me you're not going to get emotional. She goes, why? What did you do? And I sent it to her. All of a sudden, I don't know if I got a video or an audio response back on Facebook chat. She goes, "You're such a jerk." She goes, "You knew damn well that was going to get me emotional." I was like, "Yeah, but I figured I'd at least try to have you not get emotional about it."
That's awesome though. Like, I would have been like, "Okay, what can we name this?" And I would have never thought to do that.
Yeah, what did I call it? Mia, what was it like Mia Insurance or something? I'll send you the
Yeah.
logo later so you can see it. But yeah,
Okay.
I think she was driving at the time that she saw it. Like, you fool! If you knew you were gonna get emotional, why were you driving?
I thought it was funny last night when you were like going to show her the pictures of the avatar, and you're like, "I need you to say you promise you won't kill me." She's like, "I can't do that." And the look on her face when she said that, I'm like, "Ooh, that was stone cold."
Yeah, it felt good to be able to get the video from Sunday night edited so easily and then uploaded without issue today.
Yeah,
Um,
I bet so because that's the first episode that I've been in the chat for
yeah,
that y'all didn't have any issues at all.
yeah, and fingers crossed. That's the way that it continues to go.
Yeah, because I know there was one oh that episode when I told y'all I had to go pick up the van for work, and I ended up missing the episode because um I found out about it. It was like 8 o'clock at night when she's like, "You're gonna have to come get this van."
I kind of remember something like that. Yeah.
That was back in, I think, September. I think it was still pretty warm,
Hmm.
but when my supervisor was like, she sent me a text and she's like, "Did you get my note? One of y'all needed to pick up a van." Well, everybody lives closer to the office than I do. I'm an hour away. I was like, excuse me, nobody has ever asked me about picking up the van because everybody else is closer.
Yeah.
So I just took for granted that one of the other two that were on the job that day had the van. And I said, "What note? I never saw a note." She goes, she looks, she comes back, she goes, "Damn, it didn't go through." She's like, "Well, I have a van here at the house, but y'all are gonna have to get it. Like, you can come pick it up." I said, "Pick it up tonight or pick it up in the morning." She goes, "Whatever's best for you." And I'm like, "I'll come tonight because if I get it tomorrow, I'm gonna have to leave at like 4 in the morning just to come down to your house and get a van.
Yeah.
They're all still gonna be in bed by the time I drive down there." So I went on down there. I got the keys. I got the van. I drove it home. And when I got home, the episode was already over, which I knew it would be because I got home around 10.
Yeah.
And I think one of y'all had told me. I mean, we obviously didn't have our group chat yet,
Yeah.
but one of y'all had told me that the episode went flawless, and I can't remember which one of y'all told me that. And then the next week, there was the audio issues again. And so I'm sitting there the whole time. I'm like, I've been supporting y'all all this time, and I feel like I'm the one that's jinxing it. You know, I'm gone. There's no audio issues. There's no problems or nothing. I come back, the issues are
Everything
back.
goes to hell. No, I was actually my friend Melissa. I was actually on chat with her earlier, telling her that we got to reschedule her
Yeah,
appearance. I think that might actually be. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be a standard episode or if that's gonna be aftershock. Because I kind of want all four of us to be able to have a conversation.
yeah,
Because, like, I know that she, followed you back or followed you on social media,
yeah. That was really
but
cool.
you can't get the full understanding of who she is unless you're actually involved in a conversation with her. And I'm so anxious for the four of us to be able to have a conversation.
I know that night that the episode didn't work, and you pulled her into the video chat for a little bit.
Oh, that's right.
I was laughing so hard.
Oh yeah, she's a firecracker.
Yeah, but but yeah, I was like, "Who is this that just followed me?" And I clicked on the thing because I've been like my Instagram. I've always been selective about who I follow back.
Mhm.
So I clicked on the name and I started scrolling through and like, "Oh, I know who this is," and I followed her back.
Yeah. Yeah, she's one of a kind in many ways. But yeah,
But yeah,
I'm so she's one of those people I just feel lucky to have in my life.
yeah. Well, that's how I feel about the little group of friends that I got that I talk to on a daily basis.
Yeah. Chad,
Because
my head is already big enough. You don't need to make it bigger.
I mean, I can exclude you from that part of the conversation if you
No,
want
no,
me
I
to.
didn't say do that, asshole.
But no, over the past several months,
Yeah,
I think I've laughed more than I have in the past year.
I believe it because I'm pretty much at the same way. It's it's good. It's good for the mental health. In
Yeah,
all honesty, that's why I made it a point to tell Amanda earlier that I knew to trust my gut to have her as a creative partner
yeah,
because of how dedicated she is to the things that she does and how goal oriented she is.
yeah,
Because the things that she was saying in the group chat earlier about things that she wanted to do, I can honestly see her accomplishing those. She's got to have the right circumstances, but I think that she very well could accomplish those.
Yeah. Well, like I said, well, there's been several times she's been cooking while she's been live on TikTok.
And see, it's so because it's weird because when you guys send me TikTok videos to be like, oh yeah, I already saw that, and I say that I spend so much time on TikTok, but when it comes to the two of you clowns going live, I never catch it.
Well, see, me and her went live. It was one day last month, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the first time we've been live together. It probably have been 4 months or more because I just wasn't. I didn't feel like I was going to physically be able to with all the headaches I'd been having, migraines and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um, but we went live and we were live for. I went back and looked at the replay of it one day last week, and I was on. I mean, I was in for a little bit after she left. Um, I think she said her mom had called her because she just all of a sudden just left out, and she sent me a text and she's like, pretty sure she said it was her mom calling her. She said, hopefully it doesn't kick me out of the live, and I'm like, it did. Well, when I logged off, I think I had been on. I think it said 86 minutes,
Yeah.
but I forgot how much I enjoyed doing it because there for a while, like me and Amanda went live together like usually twice a week.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a scheduled thing. I would just message her and be like, want to go live tonight? And she'd be like, yeah, sounds good to me. Or it would be like, um, I don't know if I'll be home. I'm like, just let me know. If not, we can try another day.
Yeah. Um, I think with her having equipment that she can rely on, now we might have the chance when big stories come up, we can go live in that instant or at least sometime that day instead of waiting until the broadcast on Sunday because so many things happen in the course of a week and even the course of a day that
Yeah.
it's so hard to refer back to these stories and have them still be relevant.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, something could happen on like Tuesday, and by the time Sunday rolls around, you might not think about it.
yeah, but the other thing is, with the ongoing situation in Kentucky, I was glad I was able to find that website where there's now resources that people can, contribute to because for the time being, until such time as it's not needed, Amanda and I can reference those resources at the end of each episode.
Yeah. Well, seeing that one video that I don't remember which one of us put it in the group chat, but excuse me. When I went back and found it, and it's when she said they're asking people not to send supplies because they don't have an organized way to distribute them. But they're asking people to give blood if they can. And
Yeah.
she's like, there's a website. You can go to this website right here, and I'll link it in my bio. But the problem was, it was a white background, and like everything that she put up, whenever you type your captions in, they were white. So I couldn't read none of the stuff.
Oh,
And when I went to her page and went to her bio and didn't see any website link to it.
yeah.
So,
A lot of these content creators, unfortunately, when something like that happens, they just want to be part of the crowd.
yeah,
So they try to throw a bunch of information on the wall to see what sticks, so to speak.
yeah,
Um, and they don't really know what they're doing. Whereas you get, somebody like me who's been involved in nonprofit stuff, I know the right resources to look for, and I know how to present them in a content creator sort of way. Because I just combine those two kind of, you know, areas like content creation and, community outreach, and I know how to do it properly. But some of these people that just want to be part of the crowd and say that, they did their part, it's like, you guys don't know your ass from your elbow.
Right. Yeah. It's I don't know. I would want to try to know as much as possible about something, you know, concerning, an emergency situation like that before I just went out and just started throwing out a few facts that I'd heard.
Yeah. Um, the video that I posted in the group chat from the quartering, the one that was talking about Mark Ruffalo and a bunch of other celebrities running their mouths.
Yeah.
The issue I have with Jeremy, who is the quartering, his name is Jeremy Hambley. The issue I have with Jeremy is he doesn't necessarily have original thoughts. Like, he doesn't have an original way of approaching his content creation. He sees other people posting stories about something that's going on, and he just piggybacks off that. That's why I tend not to. I tend to watch him last if it's if I'm following the if I'm following the progress of a story, I'll watch him last because all he has done is compile all of the other videos he's seen, and he just sits there and regurgitates it. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you have no firsthand information that is unique from other people. You know, the information you have is not unique to your content. You're just taking what everybody else has said and spewing it to your audience, whereas all they have to do is a basic search of keywords in YouTube, and they can find any of the other sources that originally posted that information.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, for the sake of argument, I realize that that argument could be valid for what Amanda and I do about talking about it on Sundays, but it's like we try to present it in as much of an original way as possible,
Yeah.
so that we're not just fucking regurgitating shit. Because we're not birds trying to feed our young. We don't chew up the food and then spit it into our offspring's mouth.
So you're not Alicia Silverstone?
Say what now? Oh, what? Why did you unlock that memory in my head? I was talking about birds, and you had to go Alicia Silverstone.
Because
Why
she
did you?
did the video or the pictures or
I
whatever
I
of that
I
came
know
out.
I know. I do not want any more of
But
that memory unlocked in my brain. No.
that, that's just the first thing that popped into my mind.
I hope you step on a Lego, you rat bastard.
Shows what you know. My daughter ain't got no Legos.
I hope you step on a tack.
I've been there and done that.
And did you scream like a Sally?
Nah,
No.
tax ain't that bad. It's if you step on a board and like a nail goes through your foot about that far. That's when I scream.
Yeah.
It used to be the worst thing. Like my parents had their house. They had a mobile home, and that's actually what they were living in when it burned down.
Yeah.
Um, but they had it moved to. They had it moved from Ellenboro, which is about 40 minutes away,
Yeah.
to Kings Mountain, and um, the they tried to have the deck that was built onto it moved too. And when they took it off the truck, they were able to use most of it, but part of it fell apart. And so
Oh.
they just took the boards that fell apart and put them in a pile.
Mhm.
And I was going with my dad to help take the wood up and put it on the back of the truck and take it off to the landfill.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, make sure you wear shoes because there's nails and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not that stupid, Dad. But even with the shoes on, I stepped on a board that the grass had then started growing over,
Yeah.
and I stepped on the nail and it went through my shoe and went in my foot about that far. And God, it hurt. I had to get a tetanus shot too because the thing was rusted. I hate a tetanus shot. I'm terrified of needles. So if I go to the doctor and they've got to draw blood or give me a shot or anything, I'll turn my head and
Yeah.
look the other way because I'll pass out.
Yeah.
It's like an irrational fear of hospital needles. I don't know why. It's been like that since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And but they're like, "You ready for your tetanus shot?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "Well, we're about to give it to you." And they took the little alcohol thing. They wiped my arm down. I turned
Yeah.
my head. Next thing I knew, she just like, bam, just jabbed my arm. I'm like, "Oh my God!" She's gonna say, "How you give a tetanus shot?" I was expecting them just to take and just stick it in my hand and then shove the medicine in. But like, nope, you got to stab it.
Um, I just saw the message from Amanda from a little bit ago talking about the Avatar or for the
Oh yeah,
yeah.
the little green woman.
No, what?
Was she not talking about her avatar on Paramount
Oh,
Plus?
oh, she was talking about the Avatar on Paramount Plus. I thought she was talking about the display photo that I put up for the stream.
Oh, because I hadn't seen her say anything. I didn't know she was in the stream.
Well, she said I logged on. I thought that meant that she was in the stream. But no, now that you say Paramount Plus, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought she was talking about.
It is. That makes sense now.
And I'm still trying to figure out where I've seen the little old man that you put on mine. I swear I've seen that before.
I don't know. I don't watch enough animated shit to, be able to tell you.
I don't watch a whole lot of animated stuff anymore either.
It's a matter, Chad, and you're not old enough to say shit.
Well, shit. What are y'all
Oh,
doing?
Tony subscribed to my channel,
Awesome.
even though he's no longer in the chat.
I've never seen who's in the chat at all because it said zero the whole time.
Well,
People were
yeah.
chatting and it said zero.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
'Cause I,
When
or,
Patrick
or I have the ability to see who's in the chat.
is
Which,
Patrick still in the chat?
no, nobody is.
Okay. I
Not that
didn't
I
know
know of.
because last time Patrick was in the chat the whole time, but he got quiet. And so the next day I'm like, dude, why didn't you respond? I was trying to ask you questions and stuff. And he's like, I fell asleep.
No, it just lists me in the chat.
Uh, yeah, he's like, I fell asleep, which he's supposed to went today to get fitted for his CPAP. So
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to hear back about my sleep study stuff. I haven't heard nothing.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to get one of those done at one time. I don't know if I want to do that again now.
I would recommend if you have to have one done, I would try to see if they could do it at the hospital because the at home one. I mean, I did it the way it said do it, but I'm still not sure if I did it right.
Well, and to be fair, when I originally had scheduled one, um, it was going to be in the hospital because I was still kind of over at mom's house at the time. I was kind of staying there until I got the apartment. Um, Now, with no distractions and nothing else to really do, I would be able to actually do it here in the apartment. But I would rather do it in a medical facility so that it was done correctly.
See, I was told that when you haven't done at the hospital or a medical facility, the room they put you in is a cold room, and I'm like, oh, I would love that.
Yep. Yeah, that's even more reason for me to want to do it at the hospital.
Because I know you said the other day you sleep with a fan on at night.
Generally, yeah.
I've got an oscillating fan, but I don't have it oscillating. It just hits right on me at the bed.
Yep. Yep.
I've got a ceiling fan that's on also,
Mhm.
and then that the air, the heat, whichever one we have it flipped on, it'll kick on too. But I'll be sleeping just fine. But if the power goes out, as soon as that fan quits making noise, I wake straight up.
The, when you said ceiling fan, do you remember one of the original first viral memes that went around called Ceiling Cat?
Might if I seen it.
It's a little baby cat somehow got up in the ceiling and all of a sudden it's poking its head out of the ceiling, looking down at you. If you look
Uh,
up, if you look it up on your phone, I guarantee you'll recognize it. It was one of the very first viral memes that went around, and I still love that meme
let's see, ceiling
because the very first one I
cat.
saw was "Ceiling Cat watches you masturbate."
Oh my god! I typed in ceiling cat in Google, and the first one says ceiling cat is watching you.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, yeah, I've seen that meme. Now that I pull it up, ignore debt ceiling cat. Oh, ignore debt ceiling cat. Unconstitutional.
yeah, the debt ceiling, the like governmental debt ceiling.
There's
So
the
now,
one you were talking about. Ceiling cat is still watching you masturbate.
yep.
Ceiling cat checking in. Ceiling cat is watching you get ready for work. NSA cat is watching you do everything.
Ever a thing?
Everything.
I love Cat Williams. I don't care who that
Have you
offends. I
seen the movie he did called First Sunday?
no.
It was him, Tracy Morgan, and Ice Cube, I think. Tracy Morgan and Ice Cube were gonna rob a church, and when they got
Yeah.
into the church, um, there was when they got to the church, there was a bunch of people from the church in there having a meeting.
Yeah.
So their robbery plan didn't work the way they wanted it to. But my favorite part of the movie, they went to court. Like they end up getting arrested. They go to court, and one of the lawyers is like, the how was it? He says something about the uh, behavior of these two can be infectious upon has infected our community. Is what he said. And Cat Williams is in the court. And he's like, I ain't infected. I got papers prove I ain't infected.
um, did you ever see? I don't remember what it was specifically called. When Cat Williams was on Wild and Out, did you ever see um, the court skit that he did on Wild and Out called Judge
Mm-mm.
Mo Dollars?
No, that sounds
You
funny though.
you have got to look that up. Judge Mo Dollars. It is the funniest shit in the world. Nick Cannon needs to bring him back onto that show because he made that show. Him and Rosica Mathers. She was hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Why'd your voice just go like 2 octaves deeper just now? You're like,
She,
Rosica Mathers, she was hot.
the way that you just imitated that made me sound like Stuart from Mad TV. Fuck you. I hate
Oh
you for
god.
that.
That wasn't even thinking about him. I hadn't. I haven't watched any Mad TV in years. Oh God.
I hate you for that.
Well, I wish Amanda had been in the live for that, or been in
Oh,
the chat for that.
trust me, I'm clipping this part of it so she can see that. Holy hell.
I, w- I wasn't even thinking about Stewart. I hadn't saw. I used to watch Mad TV every single week.
Yeah.
That, but
Um
she was hot.
you know, I think it was Stewart and that fucking ADHD jittery UPS guy.
Hmm.
Oh my god, those were my two favorite characters on that show.
I remember. I don't remember what movie they were spoofing, but they did a skit. Well, it was a pre-recorded skit,
Yeah.
but they had Billy Bob Thornton in there dressed as Sling Blade,
Yeah.
and it was like a sci-fi movie with Sling Blade.
Yeah.
And I was like, at this point, I had never seen Sling Blade, but I knew all about the movie. Oh no, hold on a minute. I was like, what's going on? But it's like my computer just went dim, but it had a full battery when I turned it on.
Yeah, that
And
happens.
we're back.
That's what happens when you use it a lot. It tends to go down.
Yep. Goes down like a hooker in a gangbang.
Oh my god, please do not get me kicked off YouTube.
Oh, my bad, YouTube. Do not kick around off of your channel. That was all me. He had no idea that I was going to say that. But no, I had not seen Sling Blade at that point yet. But I heard people at school talking about it.
Yeah.
But I love that movie. I saw it not long after me and Courtney got married,
Yeah.
and when he's like, Carl, go look at that lawnmower. They've been looking at it all morning. Can't figure out why it won't crank. And he walked over and he's like, ain't got no gas in it. And that's all. He's like, gee, Dick, Carl, this is why I like having you around.
Wow. Yeah, Matt. I wish Mad TV would have been able to successfully kill SNL.
Yeah, I mean, I watched SNL in the 90s, but after, and I know you don't like him, but after Will Ferrell, Jimmy Fallon, and Chris Kattan left, the show went way downhill.
Farrell was okay on SNL. Um, when he actually got into serious acting, he
Hmm.
sucked. He just was terrible.
See,
But
I've
yeah,
never seen none of his like serious movies. All I've ever seen are his stupid comedies.
no. What I'm saying is serious acting. I don't mean he was playing serious roles, but when he
Oh,
was
okay.
getting into legitimate acting versus you know sketch comedy. Um, yeah, like cinematic stuff versus sketch comedy.
But yeah, when those three left, I it wasn't long. I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah,
My favorites are gone. Well, Chris Kattan, I think, left first. I'm like, okay, that one hurt because he was my favorite. But after he left, and then I'm like, I still got Fallon and Farrell, the two
yeah.
F's.
I th- Fallon, unfortunately, Fallon was good in SNL, and I think he was another one that I think unfortunately became a pawn of the machine once he left SNL, because once he got his own, or once he took over the Tonight Show, he really got swallowed up by the Hollywood system, and he
Yeah.
became their pawn in making, you know, he in making very divisive comedy, like, really dividing people with the things that came out of his mouth. Um, so I think
See,
he did a disservice to himself when he did that.
I've not watched a full episode since he took over. I've
Really, I
just
used
seen
to watch
clip.
it all the time.
I've just seen clips because my favorite late night host was always Conan O'Brien. I used to
Um,
love. Like, I would set up and watch. Well, I mean, obviously it would be during like Thanksgiving break and Christmas break,
yeah.
and then through the summer when school was out. But I would sit through Jay Leno just to watch Conan O'Brien.
See, I was more so Jay Leno and Craig Ferguson.
Well, see, Craig Ferguson came along later. When I say Conan O'Brien, I mean like almost 30 years ago when he started on NBC.
Yeah. Um, I had forgotten how long he was on TV when they announced he was retiring.
You know, he was a writer for The Simpsons.
I had heard that, yes.
He said on one of his episodes before, I don't remember if it's, I don't know if it was before NBC screwed him over or after when he went to TBS. Cause I got so mad, like I was all happy for him whenever Jay Leno retired and Conan took over for the Tonight Show. And the 7 months he was on the show, I thought he did pretty good. And then they brought Jay Leno back just because he's gone on record as saying, I told a little white lie. I didn't really want to retire, but the network thought I needed to go out or whatever it was, however it was he worded it.
Yeah.
Um, but I remember watching it, and Conan's like, when I was a kid, I always said I want to grow up to host the Tonight Show for 7 months. But he ended up going back to his old studio. He got his original show back after those
Yeah.
7 months, and then he moved to TBS. Um,
Yeah, that's a bot.
what's about? Oh, Allison Morgan.
Yeah, it's a bot. I'm
I
trying to
just
I'm trying to figure out how to.
so was the Marjorie Chambers was a bot too. Then I bet you.
Yeah. Um, do me a favor and type something in the chat. There. Now you're a moderator on here.
Okay.
I'm also gonna do the same thing with Tony.
Yeah, I told Tony yesterday. I said Ryan has told me on a few occasions we need to get you in a video chat with us again. I was like, you had an impact on him, Tony.
Apparently, there were messages that Tony put in that I did not see because they were withheld because of the way that he typed them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, me and Tony, we known each other for Adriana had just been born, or she wasn't quite born yet. So we known each other for about 9 years.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things Walmart did in the 13 years I worked there. I've got several friends that I never lost touch with.
Yeah.
Tony's one of them. Patrick's one of them.
Now, if you type in the chat, your name should come up blue with a wrench next to it. I think.
Yeah, it does. And it come up with the you're now a moderator for this channel.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, me and Tony, well, it's funny because I worked in the dairy department. Tony's mama worked in the dairy department. She worked third shift, so I would see her a couple of nights a week when I clocked out to go home and she was coming in. It was like an in passing thing by the time clock. Um, and then I would see her like if I had to work morning shifts, it was the same thing. I'd see her in passing. And then Tony got hired, and me and Tony hit it off right away. Just from the first time we met, just been laughing and joking ever since.
Yeah. Now I realize his name is not Tony, or I name is his name is Tony, but not Stacy. But does his mom got it going on?
Wow.
I don't know. I just popped into my head. I had to say it.
So was it yesterday? Courtney said something about she was playing one of those games where you it was like a crossword puzzle game type of thing, I think.
Yeah.
And it was Stacy's mom. And then she's like, well, "You know who Stacy's mom is, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Jesse's girl." No, she said, "You know Stacy's mom's phone number, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, 8675309." I said, "You know she's Jesse's girl, right?"
Yeah.
She's like,
I don't know how old. I don't know if TikTok created that joke or if it was older than that. But
"Oh, it's older than that. I was seeing it on Facebook several years ago."
oh yeah. Okay.
Well, it's funny though, because I've been on TikTok since before it was TikTok, but I just never did anything with it.
Before it was TikTok, it was Musically.
Yeah, I was on there because there's this band on Twitter called Heartland Ray followed me, so I followed them
Mm-hmm.
back, and then we became pretty good friends. They actually sent me an autographed picture in the mail, and they actually on the envelope they addressed it to Chatty Mac. But
I think you should change all of your screen names now to Step Chad.
um, they like we became pretty good friends, and we followed each other on TikTok or not TikTok. They don't follow me on TikTok, um, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Can you follow us on Musically?" And at the time, Musically wasn't hadn't been out very long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What is it?" And they told me about it. So okay, I'll go in there and create an account and follow you. And I followed them, and then some random person followed me on there, and I never
Probably
did
one of
anything with it.
their fans.
Possibly.
You know it's bad when my hair is long enough to sit here and twirl it like a valley girl.
Yeah. No, I don't um I I don't know why they haven't gone any further than they have because they're really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've opened up for some really big name country music acts. They've opened up for Dirks Bentley, they've opened up for Dustin Lynch, they opened up for George Strait
If
before
you
he
ever,
retired.
if you get to see Dustin Lynch live, do it.
Oh, I want to.
He is incredible. Um, there used to, well, now it's called the Blue Ridge Rock Fest, but there used to be called the Blue Ridge Music Festival, and it was all
Mhm.
country.
Yeah.
And I got to see Dustin Lynch, and it was him. And you know what it was? It was Dustin Lynch, Thomas Rhett, Brantley Gilbert, and like 10 other bands. But it was at the end of the show, like where they have like obviously the headliner. It went Dustin Lynch, Thomas Rhett, and then the headliner was Brantley Gilbert because at the time they had just released Small Town Throwdown,
Oh yeah.
where they all performed in that song, and to see them perform that live, I have
Wait a minute,
never.
Dustin Lynch was with them on that?
I, I'm thinking it was Dustin
Because the
Lynch.
the original was Thomas Rhett, um,
I thought it was
Brantley
Dustin.
Gilbert, and Justin Moore.
Maybe it was Justin Moore.
Man, I love Justin Lynch and Dustin Moore. I got my names mixed up. I love Dustin Lynch and Justin Moore.
You, yeah, I
Their
think you're
music,
right.
both their musics are
I
awesome.
think the one who was here was Dustin or Justin. I hate you.
Justin Moore.
Yeah, him. I think he was the one that was on on the Blue Ridge Music Tour um, for the festival. Not Dustin Lynch, but I think Dustin Lynch was there, but I think Justin Moore. You're gonna really screw me up.
It's Justin Moore. You're right. You got it right.
Yeah. Um, I think he was there as well because I remember three guys performing Small Town Throwdown, so it had to be him.
Justin Moore is so short though.
Yes, he is, but I will say Thomas Rhett is not much taller.
Yeah. See, I have told Courtney, I have been dreaming of a super concert, okay, with Dirks Bentley and Cole Swindell because them
I'm
two did Flatliner together.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Cole in one of the Blue Ridge festivals.
I love his music,
I think I've seen him.
but I'm wanting to see. I want a concert with not Dustin Lynch, Dirks Bentley. I want Dirks Bentley, Cole Swindell, Thomas Rhett, and Brett Eldridge to do one big super show. I think that would be freaking amazing.
Um, First time I ever saw Brantley Gilbert was back up in New York at Saratoga Performing Arts Center, which was the outside venue, which is the actually the venue I was telling you about when we were talking about Nickelback.
Yeah.
Um, so I saw Brantley Gilbert there for the first time because he was either opening or co-headlining with Toby Keith,
Oh yeah.
and that place lost their minds because like it was Toby Keith, and then it was this person that a lot of people had never heard of, obviously being Brantley Gilbert, but just the energy that he gave off when he started performing, that entire place lost their minds and went nuts.
Yeah. So we bought the album he had with Bottoms Up on it. I can't remember
Uh,
the name of the album.
I think it was his second album.
It
I know which
yeah,
one you're
it
talking
was a
about.
second one, yeah. But when we ended up buying it, and then later on he released the deluxe edition of that album. It had like 5 new songs on it.
Yeah.
So we turned around and bought that one too. And
I think that was the album where he also had My Baby's Guns and Roses.
yes, I love that
Yes.
song.
Yes. I that's the I mean, don't get me wrong, I love all of his music, but that was what sold me on buying that album was that song.
I bought it for Bottoms Up because at the time that's the only song that I knew.
Yeah. Well, I had actually
Because like his older, oh, go ahead.
I had heard My Baby's Guns and I had heard Bottoms Up first and I loved it. But what sold me was My Baby's Guns and Roses because obviously that's the whole reason I started listening to music was because of that band.
Yeah,
Um, but I had bought Bottoms Up as a single, but I bought the rest of the album because of that song.
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't know. I'm wrong. I had heard "Country Must Be Countrywide" from his first album.
I love like I'm surprised I did not ruin my CD by playing that song as much as I did. That and Kick It in the Sticks.
Yeah, I love that one too. But I didn't realize that was him until after Bottoms Up came out.
Really?
Yeah, because at the time, and I do this now, I find a CD I like, I put it in my CD player, and I'll listen to it for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And then every now and then I'll flip back to the radio. So I would hear these songs, but I would like get to where I was going before the DJ came on and told me who it was.
Oh yeah.
So, but we got that second album and I put it in. And I mean, we were getting ready to go to the Outer Banks, so we were trying not to spend any unnecessary, not do any unnecessary spending.
Yeah.
We were trying to save as much money as possible for the beach. And I come out like Courtney picked me up at work at the time. For some, I think my car was still in the shop or so, or I don't know why I didn't drive my car. My mother in law might have been using my car that day or so. Anyway, Courtney dropped me off at work. She went to work and she came back and picked me up after work. Because
Yeah.
we both got off at 4. And I'm standing out front waiting on her to get there, and I'm holding the bag with a CD in it. She's like, "Why are you buying music? We're saving money for the beach. We're leaving next week. Why are you spending money?" And I'm like, "Because I bought this." And I pulled it out, and she's like, "Okay, I'm not mad at you." You know, but I opened the disc and I put it in, and like we were jamming all the way back home because it was about a 20-25 minute, maybe 30, depending on stoplights and traffic. And
No person should ever complain about themselves or somebody else buying music, especially when there's an upcoming trip, because you always need good music on a trip. I'm just
oh
saying.
yeah, but if you knew how many CDs I've got, so I have a case that holds 232 CDs, and it's not far from full. And the only reason it ain't full is because at some point I got lazy and just quit putting them in it.
Yeah,
Because
I've got the 360 case.
not only did I put the discs in this case, I would put the disc in and I would take the CD book and slide it down in front of the disc.
Yep.
But here, I've never been diagnosed. I know I'm not fully because I'm not the most organized person in the world about stuff.
You think you're OCD?
Courtney says I have OCD tendencies, and I know for a fact that's true because, like, when I turn my TV up, the volume it comes up in numbers, and it has to be in increments of 5.
Hmm.
Put it on 20, put it on 25, put it on 30. Don't put it on 33 or anything in between. It has to be on 5.
Don't let me be in a
Uh,
car with you because I will fuck with your head so bad.
if you're if you're in the car with me and I'm driving, I've got the volume button on my steering wheel. I'm good. I can fix it. But I put my discs in that case in alphabetical order. And when I bought a new disc, if I bought a disc, say from Trace Adkins, and I know he's going to the front because his last name starts with A,
You'd have to reorganize everything.
I have to move every one of those discs over one slot to get to where I need to put it. Not only are they in there in alphabetical order, but the albums are in there in the order they came out. So, like when I get to where all my Brooks and Dunn CDs are, because Brooks and Dunn's my all-time favorite country group.
Yeah.
When I get to where their albums are, the Brooks and Dunn albums are in the B's, but they're in there. They're on those pages in the order the albums were released.
Yeah.
and I cannot change it. I can't. I can't go in there and just start switching it around. But at some point, when it got to being so many albums, it got to being too much work to do all that because I was spending like an hour or more moving everything over just to put the disc where I wanted it.
Yeah. Um,
So,
I think what I'm gonna do, because we literally have been streaming for 2 hours. I think I'm gonna end. I want to still continue the conversation, but I think I'm gonna end the stream here, and we'll just
all right,
continue chatting as normal.
okay.